Red Bull Rant is a free-flowing podcast with three soccer-loving idiots who don't know when to shut their dumb potty mouths. So listener discretion, yeah, it's pretty much advised.
Welcome, my friends, to the Should Have Ends. This is the Red Bull Rant podcast. I'm your host, Jason Iapicco.
I'm Truman, and this is episode 480. I got better.
Can we really call this better?
Yeah, they won the game.
Well, we'll talk about how in a minute, but yeah, 2-1 win over Toronto. Like we said last week, these are the games you have to win. You have the blue sky replies before we move to our thoughts?
Lots of stuff. Here we go. All right. Our friend Steven Santos said, we needed that win, but without Forsberg, we definitely would have lost Saturday. Toronto was dreadful, and we need more guys to come back from injuries. Also, Carballo for worst boneheaded red card since Juninho kicking ball at goalie many years ago. I think you forgot about Kaku kicking someone in the face in Kansas City, I believe. That was also a classic.
Or who entered the stands after kicking the ball at home against Philly a few years ago?
Oh, I don't remember.
I want to say it was Reyes or Duncan.
I can't remember.
If it's true. I think that's worse.
Yeah, or just Rafa Marquez in general. He's just a red card.
Well, that's like
in general.
Yeah.
And then Chico's saying, happy with the performance overall, looked better. Still some of that, fear. Like they're nervous, they'll get yelled at if anyone but Forsberg makes a play. Still work to do. Bench Carballo until at least May for that red. Complete clown behavior and very nearly cost them 2 points. And then I'm just going to go right here to Instagram. And our friend Eddie said, I hate Toronto and making Bernardeschi and it's saying him look like has-beens yet again will always be satisfying.
Yeah, the one good thing was that Toronto. Let's get into our likes and dislikes. Usually we start with dislikes, but I'll start with the like first. A small one is at least Toronto's that bad, so it helped us out.
Yes, but I mean, like Steven Santos said, I mean we did barely beat them. But all right, so if we're doing likes first, my like is that they were able to get that go-ahead goal and hold on to it. That was a fantastic play. Forsberg staying on side just barely on that last defender. That was a great. I mean, it was really a 1-2 pass, 1, 2, 3, something like that. But great play, great goal. I mean, of course, you love the defenders all just throwing their hands up instead of playing till the whistle or seeing the flag go up. They just stand around throwing their arms up. I mean, they're all beat anyway. It didn't really matter. But great way to get that go-ahead goal and get a win at home. Again, something you need to do against bad teams, as we talked about last week.
Yeah, I feel like Forsberg staying on the side was kind of like karma for the fact that we've given up 2 like that so far this year. My like is specifically about the penalty kick because we now have 2, I would imagine, certified penalty kick takers, which imagine that. Like the last few years, we've not had that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now
I was kind of surprised that Choupo-Moting didn't get it. I thought that was just going to be the natural thing, but you can always give it to Forsberg. He's also pretty automatic from the spot.
I feel like, based on what happened, I feel like Forsberg's the primary, And what happened was Primary gave it to Moting last week because he's like, listen, you need to get off. You need to get a goal and get going.
Yeah.
So
True.
maybe that Chupa Moting was just a, hey, I want you to get moving kind of thing. So maybe Forsberg's the primary. I mean, he was the primary last year. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. For sure.
It only makes sense. My dislike is also going to be about the penalty kick, and it's how we got it because, listen, we got really lucky to get that. That to me, that was not a penalty kick. The dislike portion of this is the fact that we needed that to win.
Yeah, 2 PKs taken in 2 weeks, where both of those were like, eh.
Well, I would say the one last week was you could justify it more than this one. The foul on Choupo-Moting, we could justify getting that penalty kick more than we could justify this one.
But hey, VAR. Listen, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it at home. Yeah.
I just really don't like the fact that we needed the penalty kick to beat Toronto.
Right. That's not my dislike because let's face it, that goal that Toronto scored was a pretty nice goal. I think maybe Carlos Carnell saves that, being a little bit taller, maybe getting a hand on it. But that was that was not a poor goal given up. That was a really, really well placed ball from, of course, Derek Etienne Jr. So not getting mad at that. But I mean, again, I think what everybody talked about, it was Felipe Carbelo's dumbass yellow, then almost 2 seconds later, red card. Absolutely fucking no need for that. There was no need for either of those. Tossing the ball, and I think he just ran his mouth to get the second one immediately afterwards.
Exactly what happened.
Just like, what, dude, what are you fucking doing? Walk away. Forsberg's also got to just be like, yo, just walk away from the play, dude. There's no need for that.
Forsberg was subbed off, I think, before that happened.
Okay, yeah, but all right, but yeah, just there's no excuses for something like that. Just now you miss the next game. It was just a fucking boneheaded decision. Boneheaded. The thing with throwing the ball, let's all just stop that right now. And then people have to be told in MLS, no one's gonna put up with this shit. The refs are gonna card that no matter what. They just are. See, just stupid shit. Not even like a foul that you had to take, prevent like a goal scoring opportunity. It was on their side of the field. It was so stupid and completely unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, this is taking that or hitting out yellows for delay of game. This is something they were really cracking down on last year.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something. This is not a new thing, right?
Right.
So it's not like he has the excuse of, and he was here for at least part of last season, so he's no excuse of, oh, this is not how it's been refed wherever he came from and all this other stuff. No, he should know how this shit works now in MLS.
Yep. Yeah.
So dumb. Like you said, it was on their half of the field, and even if he just leaves the ball and slowly walks in front of it away from it, that's going to delay it enough anyway.
Yep.
Because they're not going to kick it right into him.
Right. Take your time walking back.
Yeah. The only silver lining for this is that because it was a yellow, not a straight red, I think it's 1 game suspension. I'm pretty, because if it's a straight red, I think that's 2.
Right. Well, yeah, because it was the second yellow.
Yeah.
God, dumb. So dumb.
Yeah. And he had been playing for,
I was gonna say not that long.
No, actually he was in his 65th minute, so he had almost 30 minutes in. I'm sorry, I thought he got subbed to. Serge Noma was the one that got subbed out a few minutes before that. Okay. Can we talk about how bad his luck is with injuries? I mean, we've mentioned it, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I mean, Serge was a sub in this match. Came in on the 65th minute, came out at 88 because of an injury.
This team is just feeling it right now. They really are feeling it with these injuries. My God.
I know part of our problem was when Robles left, he took, I don't remember his name, unfortunately, but the head of the physios with him. And we just been kind of shit since then with injuries.
Mm-hmm.
But at what point does the medical staff get their shit together to a degree? Right? I'm not saying this is that obviously you can't prevent injuries, right? They're going to happen.
Right.
But I feel like the timeline to come back is almost like it's at least 20 to 25, 50% longer than it needs to be for some of these players. I get wanting to ease them back in and making sure they're healthy and all that stuff, but it just feels like the players are out longer than you would expect.
Well, if they're going to be out longer, I want them coming back healthy, not leaving the game immediately injured.
Exactly. Because when's the last time we saw Surge play? It wasn't this year.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, I don't know. But
I just think about Lewis Morgan being out for a long time, coming back, playing one game, getting hurt, and being gone.
And then he played. He at least got one game in this year, but then now he was out for what? We still got 5 weeks left from after his surgery or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then once the 5 weeks are up, he has to go through training, and he's not going to play right away. I mean, apparently Kyle Duncan is finally back in training officially, but he won't play this week. Which I don't blame him. Playing on New England turf sucks. You don't want to bring a guy back right like that. But this is a weird tangent away from Caballo, but I don't know. Something just seems off with our physio department ever since Robles left. So
yeah. Well, let's just hope they're getting it out of the way now. Get it out of the way now. Be healthy at the end of the year.
And let's hope we finally get some fucking offense going.
Right. Yeah. No shit.
Because we scored 3 goals in the last 2 home matches, and 2 of them were on penalty kicks.
No, we scored 4 goals. Well, we scored 4 goals in the last 2 home games.
Okay, I'm sorry, 4.
2-2 draw, 2-1 win.
For some reason, I thought Orlando was 1-1. But yeah, so still, half our goals at the last 2 home matches are on
2 penalty kicks. Right. So
we haven't scored on the road yet this year, which granted is only 2 games, but still.
Right. Well, maybe they have a chance this week.
That's the perfect segue. Red Bull's traveling to New England Saturday, March 29th, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, another fucking early start. New England comes into this game also not doing well this year. 0-1-3 record, 1 point, -4 goal difference, number 13 in the Eastern Conference. They had last week off because they would have played Miami. And the league does not let Miami play on international breaks, so New England benefited.
Mm-hmm.
You are still in the lead for predictions. You have 4. You got a point for that win, so you're at 4. I'm at 2. What do you think is going to happen on Saturday?
Do you trust this team to win a game in Foxborough?
No.
Despite the Revs being absolutely terrible, and the Red Bulls should be a good top 3, top 4 playoff team, I don't know. Turf, Choupo-Moting is going to step on that and go, my God, what is this? And his ankles are going to explode. At least Emil Forsberg's playing in this game, which he did not last year. Carnell is back. Expected to be low scoring. I expect a 1-1 draw. I would really think this team should win this game. But it's just playing up in Foxborough on that dumbass turf. They just can't seem to do it. So, but I think they're good enough to at least come out with a road point. It should be more. Technically, should be more, but I can't trust them.
It's sad that I know it's early in the season and all that stuff, but it still sucks that it's just we can't trust them to win mentality already.
It's just not a Foxborough. If they're playing DC this week, I'd be like, yeah, they could probably win a road game in DC, but Gillette sucks, turf sucks, and it's Foxborough, it's Gillette Stadium, the worst place to ever try to get out of the parking lot. My God, it is hell. And like you said, it's a fucking 2:30 game. I don't even have a shot to go. I can't go to that game. It's even dumber.
And I may not watch it because I got shit to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I discovered last week that I may need to do some work on my sun porch, which might require me doing a lot of physical labor on it.
Labor.
Because the way the sun porch is set up, the screen on it is stapled to the wood and then the wood put on top of that. Not like just a thing you could just take out like your window.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, taking all that off to get to the screen and replace it's gonna be fun. Anyway, that was like a weird tangent. My prediction, I think for now I'm going to stick with the draws as well. I went draw the last 2 weeks. I think I'm also going to say draw this week. I want to say we can get more than a goal, but I don't know. I don't know if we can do that right now, at least on the road. I feel like the only way we get 2 goals is if we get another penalty kick again through VAR.
Right. That can happen. They're getting them.
They can.
Luck's on their side right now.
Crazier things have happened, but I feel like right now to get 2 goals in Foxborough, that's the only way it happens is if we get a VAR decision in our favor. I think I got to stick 1-1 draw as well. I just can't see this team scoring 2 goals on the road. Just I don't see it happening.
Not yet.
No, not yet. All right. Anything else for New England?
Nah. Dump 2:30 start. That's all I got to say. It's stupid.
Yeah. All right. New York Red Bulls 2. They have not played since we talked last. Their next match is against. Well, they will host New York City FC 2 on Sunday, March 30th, 2:00 Eastern Time. Currently, Red Bulls 2 sits with a record of 1-1-0, plus or 4 points, a +1 goal difference, number 4 in the Eastern Conference of MLS Next Pro. Still hate the fucking name of that.
MLS Next Pro Super Deluxe.
All right. Gotham FC, again, they didn't play either. They currently sit in the NWSL with a 0-1-1 record, 1 point, -2 goal difference, 13th in the NWSL. Their next match is not until next Friday. Oh, I'm sorry, this Friday, March 28th, 8 p.m. Well, they will travel down and take on the Houston Dash. All right, with that, it is time, if I can find it, time for the F1 update.
And box now, box for hard. Stay out. Fuck! What tire.
There's nothing really going on, right? Nothing going on last week or this week in Formula One.
No, it's kind of quiet.
We'll get to the big news second, but let's review last week's race in China. Here's the biggest problem that Red Bull had the first 2 weeks is they did not have a second car to help protect Max and allow him to push up into the race. As you see, McLaren does have 2 great drivers and, finished top 2 in China with Max finishing 4th. Not a bad result at all. He had a great spot in the sprint, but the tires just kind of petered out on him. And he ended up finishing 3rd in the sprint race. So good points for him, but Red Bull need more than just Max. And that's why the big news that literally just went down earlier was Liam Lawson getting dropped down to RB Cash App Racing Super Team. And what they should have done to start the year, and that is put Yuki in the second car. He had a great performance in China. He finished, hold on, I'm going to tell you real quick. He finished 6th in the last race. So
I think before or after the disqualifications?
Before.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, that was DQ. No, so he finished. Hold
finished
on.
8th in real time.
Correct. He finished in Yuki. Right. So yeah. So that was right. That was after the DQs and everything. But anyway, this they had to pull the trigger soon. You could not do this later and drop even more points. Give the guy a shot in that car, and then as you and I were kind of discussing earlier, we'll see if it's the car or the driver. Liam massively struggled in those first 2 races, making mistakes. Going into the gravel and I think qualifying for the first race, struggling. And you can do that in the Red Bull, the RB Visa Cash App car. You cannot do that in the Red Bull Racing team. You just can't. Yuki was the right move to go to. And the week off, and then they're in Japan. So what a better way to make your Red Bull debut is being in your home country. So that crowd is going to be absolutely going crazy for him.
I think if Yuki doesn't realistically, I don't think if he has to score or finish probably like what sixth, like somewhere between like 6 and 8 for it to be considered a successful weekend for him.
Mm-hmm.
Given that he came in eighth in the last one and he's getting this car. I mean, it kind of sucks, but just that's the pressure on the Red Bull drivers.
Yeah.
If he doesn't score points, I don't know what's going to happen though, because that's not going to look good for Red Bull for that car design.
Right. Well, that'll be the thing. Then they'll really know what the problem is, right? That's when they'll know. Like it's the car too.
Yeah. But I mean, the car won't matter after this year because they have a whole new, a whole new car design they have to follow starting next year. So
right.
But still, for this year, money's on the line.
Right. It was the right move at the right time. Let's not fuck around. You got the week off. Get him into that seat. Get him ready. And next week, let's see what he can do.
All right. Next, it is time for the dumping ground.
I'm the trash man.
All right. So I feel like this actually got announced before our last show, but we didn't talk about it. What is the one thing that might be the most annoying opinion for... Hold on. It was not phrased that way.
What is the most beaten down talking point in American soccer in the past fucking 10 years? You want to say it that way?
It's more than 10 years, but yes.
Well, we know what number one is. Number two, okay, I'll cover number two first. And these are the things we swear we never talk about. Number two is changing to that fall, winter, spring schedule. Stupid.
Which may actually happen, but
don't make me bring it up, MLS. It is a death blow. It's like the USFL trying to run against the NFL, and it killed them. As we know, number two, Pro Rel.
Which the United Soccer League is going to be the first set of leagues in the U.S. to have Pro Rel.
Good for them.
Because they plan to launch a Division I league in 2027. And they'll have 3 tiers to work off of, and they're going to do Pro Rel between those 3 levels.
You know why they can do that? Because one, they don't have major television or broadcasting rights, right?
They kind of do.
TV.
But they have ESPN.
It's not when they... Okay, sure. On watch ESPN. But it's not the money that MLS has with Apple TV. The sponsors are not like the sponsors you get in Major League Soccer. Just plain and simple. Those are the 2 biggest points right there.
Well, yeah.
And fan bases, God, I hate talking about this. USL fan bases are going to those games. I think we'll go to those games no matter what fucking division they're in. MLS fans, I would say 50% of those fans, if they were not playing MLS, would not fucking be there.
I mean, the Red Bulls are actually kind of a good example of that because even though we're playing in MLS, look at our attendance when we do well.
Right. You're going to tell me if they play in lower division, if anyone would fucking be there? No. You think Red Bull would give a shit? You think Red Bull would want to be invested in this team in the United States if there was a chance they would go into a lower division? No. It's not the Bundesliga. It's not. So good for you, USL. Have a fucking blast. I hope you guys have a great team. All those people that loved talking about it on the old former Twitter, I hope you have an amazing time.
I like the idea of Pro Rel. In general, I like the idea of it.
Sure.
But I'm realistic in that it doesn't work in this country right now.
No.
Unfortunately, it may never work in this country. I wish I had... Right now, I wish I had the Ted Lasso clip about money.
Money. Okay, see, now that makes sense. Okay. That's it. Thank you.
And I that pause, I just inserted it. Just so everybody there.
So you threw in a pause so you can actually put it in there at some point? You can you gotta find that clip, put it in.
Exactly. Because it comes down to money. How much are MLS entry fees?
Right. Number one. Right. There you go.
Yeah. You think a team is gonna pay that money and be told, oh, within a year you may be gone?
Right. Fuck no.
Like, yeah, we'll let you pay $150 million, but you may only have 1 year of the Apple TV money.
Right. Oh, and by the way, hey, you're an expansion team, right? There's a pretty good chance that you'll suck your first year. I mean, St. Louis was definitely an exception to the rule, but so in your first year, you'll be relegated. Congratulations, you're now Division 2.
Now, granted, if MLS ever did pro well, they wouldn't start teams out right in MLS, but either way, there's too much money tied up in MLS for them to just automatically start doing it.
Yeah.
The only way it's going to happen for MLS is if MLS creates a like MLS 2. And they decide to have their own second division.
Which would just be MLS. You might as well just make it East-West.
That's realistically the only way, is that all the money stays in MLS. I mean, I hate to say it, but right now MLS is, for the owners, is basically a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah. It's an American league, and that's just the way it is. We're not talking 150 years or 200 years of history. There's just not a thing here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we talked about it again. I swore like 4 years ago we would never talk about this, but here we are again with this nonsense.
I had to, because of especially because of the D1 aspect of this.
Right.
I don't know how they're going to get D1 sanctioning, honestly.
Who knows? They're going to try, though.
Yeah.
And I hope they have a great time.
And honestly, I want to see them get D1 sanctioning and just really fuck with the CONCACAF Champions League spots. Because, we have one for the MLS Cup winner.
Yep.
One for MLS Cup winner, I think one for the Shield winner, one for the Open Cup, and then
one for Miami. No matter what they do, they'll make a reason to put them in.
Especially if it's the Club World Cup.
Yep.
And I think one for Leagues Cup. So if we have 4 spots available to us as a nation, and we now have 2 D1 level leagues, in theory they each have to get a spot.
Those League Cups things look at us and go, no, we're going to pass on this.
Yeah.
We're all set.
But realistically, that spot has to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
So I just don't know how the D1 stuff's going to actually work.
Well, we'll find out in a few years.
Yeah. All right. Anything else for Dumping Grounds?
No, I don't think so.
All right. That just leaves us with the last segment of the show, Truman's Terrible Team of the Week.
That's terrible.
I'll hand it off to DC this week for losing to Orlando 4-1. I mean, anytime we can kind of make fun of DC is a great time.
Yeah.
Aside from that, nothing really crazy happened this week in MLS. Nothing really crazy happened anywhere else. So, listen, if you can pick on DC, let's pick on DC.
How about, as an honorable mention, the U.S. men's national team coming in 4th in the Nations League?
I mean, flopperoo.
Where's that? Problem is, I guess if I can create, so on the older version of the soundboard software, I was able to create for my phone a custom thing based off what the sounds I already had. I gotta see if I can do it on the new one.
I think
search through the whole thing.
I think it even deserves the pack. Where
the hell is it? That's the problem is I know what it's called, but then it's in alphabetical order, and I was the wrong side of the list. So
lowest common denominator.
Just because we haven't played that one in a long time.
Yep, that's a classic.
Yeah. All right, so we're done for this week. What I'm hearing?
Yeah, I think we're done.
Okay. Let's wrap this one up. You can visit us at patreon.com/Red Bull Rant. $1 a month gets you exclusive content whenever we decide to do it. I want to thank our producers, Jeremiah Dempster, Steven Santos, and Eddie Delecto. Thank you for supporting the show. Email us, redbullrant@gmail.com. If you want to call us, 973-348-5329. You can get your voice on the show. Facebook.com/Red Bull Rant. On Blue Sky, at Red Bull Rant. At Dr. Stu for myself, at the Truman for Truman. Subscribe to our show via iTunes. And Instagram. It's also Red Bull Rant and Threads.
Thank you, Eddie.
Subscribe to our show via iTunes, YouTube Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. Last words before we get out of here.
I hope the weather gods gives me like a 2-hour rain delay so I can actually watch this game and not be distracted like I did for today's 4 o'clock Mets game. But hey, baseball back, so that's also exciting. But hey, listen, this weekend, my God, please, the refs stink. They're so bad. There's no excuse. Just, I don't know. Pretend you're playing on natural grass in Gillette and get up there and win.
Of life shit.
All right. So for Truman and myself, this has been episode 480 of the Red Bull Rant. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, go Red Bulls.
See you later.